Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teaching of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. Here we are, Yom Shlishi, and let us hope that this alleged ceasefire will end the hostilities and bring a little bit more normalcy. I guess we can go back to fighting the regular wars, however you want to look at that, but please continue davening for our brothers and sisters in Israel. On the safe return of our hostages, let us not forget about our hostages. And we learn Nishmat and Daniel Shemin Rav Dernal V'Shel Yishem Demo each and every day. Next chapter, Im Shein Nachsheves Hafsakol LeBirchot Hatorah. So we've discussed in the past sleeping or being up all night, which we'll see in the next two chapters as well, regarding regular brachos. So let's see how it affects Birchot Hatorah. Nechliku HaPoskim Ha'im Shein Nachsheves Hafsaka Sha'acharei Tzrichim Lachzor LeBirchos Birchot Hatorah. So the poskim have a disagreement, shocking, that when one falls asleep, are you required to make Birchot Hatorah anew? L'das rov harishonim uveneim harash shinas keva nechsheves hefsek legabe Birchot Hatorah. According to most rishonim, and particularly the Rush, Rabbeinu Asher, when one has what's called a shinas keva, like a real sleep, that's considered an interruption, a hefsek, regarding Birchot Hatorah. Shechozman sh'adam ar adayin hatorah malaveh madrichoso, because as long as the person is awake, the Torah is with you, even if you're not actually studying, as we discussed yesterday, but the Torah guides you in your life. But while a person is sleeping, so then a person doesn't have his consciousness, and he certainly is not thinking. So therefore, Shena, which is sleeping, is then going to be considered an interruption, a hefsek, regarding the mitzvah of studying Torah. So therefore, according to the Ikar Hadin, the base law, one would have to make Birchot Hatorah even if you sleep Shinas Keva in the daytime. Practically speaking, though, let's say somebody takes a good Shabbos nap, even if you sleep for a couple of hours, but nevertheless, we don't consider that a hefsek. We consider it as sleeping during the day, and we consider it as a very long nap, and does not constitute an interruption. And therefore, the Birchot Hatorah that you recited in the morning will still be good, and it'll even go on the time after your long nap. However, if at nighttime one takes a shinas keva, a good sleep, on your bed, this is considered a hefsek, and then you would have to make new Birchot Hatorah. Laficha. So let's look at this practically. So let's say someone has to wake up for the night shift to do shmirah, or whatever it is you have to get up in the middle of the night for. Even if he has intention to go to sleep afterwards, you should make two times Birchot Hatorah. Once when he wakes up for the shmirah, and one when he wakes up in the morning. So just look at it at a timeline. Let's say somebody has to wake up, goes to sleep at 10 o'clock, and you have a 2 o'clock shmirah, 2 to 4. So you have a good sleep from 10 to 2. You wake up, you make Birchot Hatorah, and you intend to go back to sleep at 4. You make Birchot Hatorah, and when you go back to sleep at 4 and wake up at 7, whatever it is, you make Birchot Hatorah again. V'yeshno again, kedasa sovrim sheshena ein nachsheves hafsek leBirchot Hatorah. There are those that are accustomed to the fact that many hold, or there are those who hold, that sleeping is not considered a hefsek. Eladin Birchot Hatorah dom ladin Birchot Hashachar, but rather it's similar to the laws of the morning brachos Birchot Hashachar, which we discussed last week. Shemvarchan also pam achas biyamama, which are recited only once a day, in a day period. This is based on the Rebbeinu Tam, and he brings also some Kabbalistic sources. V'lachein hakam be'emtza halayla l'shmir yivarchas Birchot Hatorah yachad Birchot Hashachar achar hakima ha'ikar shalom. Rather, he says, let's say in the case of the shmirah, when you wake up, you make Birchot Hatorah, you make Birchot Hashachar, and you make it only after your main waking up, which is probably going to be in the later part of the morning, not when you're waking up knowing that you're going to go back to sleep. And people who do this follow their custom. Here's a very, very long note here, looking at some more of the acharonim on this, but not necessarily pertaining to our typical situation. The concept of shmirah, of course, in Israel might be much more practical. But for here, if a person has a specific question, you should find out. But generally speaking, if you wake up in the middle of the night and your intention is to go back to sleep, then we probably don't make Birchot Hatorah again unless you're getting up. And certainly when we sleep during the day, which is probably more practical, if you sleep in the daytime, then we do not make Birchot Hatorah when one wakes up. So Thank you so much for listening. Please continue davening for Charlei Tzvah Bnei Yisrael, for Shalom B'chol Tzvah Yisrael, and Sefer Torah Bar hostages, Elina Nishmat Sarah Daniel Shimon, Rabbi Moshe Shem Damo. Please have in mind our brothers and sisters in Israel. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you here next time. Have a great day.